First of all, I will give you a small overview of what is servers and services topic, which is I put a
Sir,
heading like, yeah, tell me.
yes, sir. Attendance is over, sir.
Tell me what is it? Asgar. Asgar, you are already present.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, Suanupam.
Aditya.
Yes, sir.
So about what is a peer-to-peer and what is a server and client. So what is the server, what is a client, what is the relationship between what is server and client. In a peer-to-peer, how they communicate, what is the purpose of peer-to-peer communication? What is the purpose of server-client communications? What is meant by server? And what kind of services based on the service we call certain thing as a server. Okay, for example, DHCP server, DNS server, web server, mail server. We are calling it is a server means it is giving certain kind of service and how we can get the service. So based on the protocols. Okay, so that is I given here. Next, we call something as a server, not based on the what service it is providing, just based on what operating system installed in it. What operating system installed in it. Also, we call that one as a server, but not with a specific service, like Windows server, Linux server, Unix server. So this based on what it is installed in that one. Virtualization server. So why we call certain thing as a virtualization server, Hyper-V virtualization server, VMware vSphere virtualization, Xen server, Proximox server. So like that. Okay. So next one is we call something even there is no operating system or operating system is there. So whatever the operating system, whatever the service it is providing, we call something as a server based on their hardware. Rack server, tower server, blade server kind of stuff. So what is that? How it is look like? What is the use of it? Next, what is meant by data center? What is the data center contents? So the components, just basic names only. Okay, so just for an idea purpose. Next, what is a workgroup? What is a domain? What is meant? What is the use of workgroup? What is use of domain? Okay, so what is meant by active directory? What is a DHCP? Okay, what is meant by active directory? So are you in a domain or are you in a work group? How to join into the domain kind of stuff. Okay, it's a explanations only, guys. So practical video is also there. So that's the thing. Okay. A domain. What is a domain? What is Azure Active Directory means? Okay. Okay. So when we got a Azure word, that's I explained about a something about a basic part of cloud. Okay. What is meant by DHCP? What is the use of DHCP server? How to assign an IP address manually? How to assign an IP address? How to get an IP address automatically? Okay. You can see so how this IP addresses we will getting it. What is meant by DNS? What is the use of DNS server? Okay. So and how we are getting a IP address for a certain remote host, a remote domain thing. Okay. So that information is there. This is so much of explanation, guys. I don't give that many explanations. Okay. The storage part is usually I don't discuss for your batches, but if you have a time, Time is important because the earlier days I am getting only 2 to 3 weeks max, even less than 3 weeks. Now we'll see. We got more time means more additional things we will explain. Okay, so for today, I'm going to start with the basic servers and services. That too, first part is about peer-to-peer, and we'll discuss about peer-to-peer and server and client, a different type of server based on the different services, how a machine become a server, okay, and different server operating systems and other things also, okay. Up to here, first part. Second part is workgroup, domain, and Active Directory. Second part. Third part, if you have got a time, then we'll discuss about a DHCP or a DNS. Guys, what is peer-to-peer?
End-to-end.
Well, it is, we have a computers. In this laptop, I don't have any other things. So simple. You have a laptop, you are a one peer. One work group system it is. I have a laptop. I'm in domain. Sorry, I'm in domain. You are in your own work group. So peer-to-peer is a simple work group model. It is not having any centralized control. Okay, no centralized policies. Guys, see, this represent devices are in network. A line and one big line, just like a bus topology. Okay, it just look like a bus topology. Of course, really does not mean you implemented a bus topology. Okay, this meaning is the devices are in the network. Okay, are in the network. So have a devices. So A, B, C, D are in the network means they can communicate through the network. They can communicate through the network, right? For example, A PC having some data. I shared this data, so then B PC can able to access that data. C PC can able to access data. Through the network, this data can be accessed. But no centralized control, no centralized authentication. I have information, I shared information, other people can able to access. But there is no server, no client kind of concept. Only in this particular instance, A act like a server because server means it will give, client means take. Okay, so A is like a server, B is like a client, or C is like a client. For example, I have a printer. For example, I have a printer. I connected a printer to a I connected a printer to DPC. If you want to take a printout, so you have to send a request to D. D will allow to access the printer. Through D, we can able to access the printer because D is directly connected to printer. C want to take a printout. And C is first go to D and D to printer. In this particular instance, D is like a printer server because it connected to printer. So B allow users to access the printers. Okay, but still it is no centralized authentication, guys. Devices are communicating each other. Communication means either sharing information, sending a messages, sharing information, sharing resources, okay, sending and receiving of messages. This is also a communication, right? So they can do it, but without any centralized server. Okay, so it's act like individual machines only, no centralized control or no centralized servers. So this type of thing is called a peer-to-peer. Devices are very individual. So what happened, guys? Monu Kumar, Priyanka. Navneet came. Lavanya late.
Sir, Lavanya.
Next one is server and client. Before that one, see, it's a kind of workgroup model, sharing information, data, resources between two or more systems without centralization or centralized control. In a particular instance, a system act like a server, other act like a client. Okay. Compared to this picture is look a little bit good. Okay. That is a peer-to-peer. This is for this is again it's like a server and client model. And yes, I have a server. For example, this is server A, and it is a kind of web server. Okay. What is web server will do? Web server provide a web pages. This PC1. Okay. So PC1, PC2, PC3. Okay. Want to access a web page. So they will send a request to the web server so they can able to access the web pages. PC2 also access the web pages from the same web server. PC3 also access from the web server. Means this web server provide a web pages. It is a server, and these are a web clients that are accessing a web page from the web server. So web server is always a web server. In this particular instant, it is a web server. Next time, other PC is a web server. It's not like that. It is server is always a server. It provide a particular type of service. So client will access the service from the server. Okay. Server provides service, web service, mail service, DHCP service, DNS service, VPN service. Server provide a service, client access the service. Got the point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Web servers provide a web pages, contains a web pages. They will give the web pages through web service. The client with the web browser, he try to access the web pages from the web server. Actually, the first line I said is the server provide a service, client access. In generally, guys, server don't give anything to the client until unless client should request for it. Okay, server, client has to ask, then server response. So client requests for a service, web service or mail service or whatever the service of a server, client has to do request to the server. Server understand what is the client request. Based on that, it will give a response. Okay, client has to ask, client has to request to the server, client send a request to the server. Exactly say, client send a request to the server. Server understand what is the client request. Based on that request, it will respond to the client. It is a centralized one. Okay. How server understands client's request? By the protocol. If it is a web server, what is the request I have to send? HTTP. Web communication, HTTP, or HTTPS. Okay. If it is a file server, I want to upload and download a files, FTP server. Mail server, client has to request a mail server for sending a mail, SMTP request. Client want to download its mails. So then it will send a request, POP3, okay, depends upon the client, okay, and the server. So our IMAP version. Okay. Client want an IP address from DHCP server to DHCP protocol. Client want to get a IP address of some remote server. Then it send a request to the DNS server with the DNS protocol. Okay. So like that, guys. Already I told lot of protocols. Okay. SSH. I have a remote server, remote Linux machine, or a remote server, a remote device. So I want to access it. I want to access. So then I can able to do some configuration kind of stuff. So SSH protocol. Okay. So if server is telnet based protocol use, then I have to send a telnet on. So at time of networking times, I told some protocols and port numbers, guys, compulsory go through it. HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, TFTP, NTP, SMTP, POP3, IMAP. One more is there, no? That is not one more. It is SSH, Telnet, RDP. Okay, these are all different protocols. So client has to send a request with the protocol. Server understand what kind of service client is asking. If the service is available, then it will provide. Respond according to the client request. Okay. So this is about your peer-to-peer and a client and server. Why I'm getting technical? This is what is this today's training? N22 will you will message in group now. People. Okay. Guys, server understand client request by protocol. Now it is how a machine become a server. Guys, are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a server. We call certain thing as a particular server, DHCP server, DNS server, like that. Or how it is become that kind of server. There's the 2 points. Okay. Server called as a particular server based on what service it is providing. If it is providing DHCP service, DHCP server. If it is providing mail services, mail server. If it is providing web pages, web server, right? So like that. So we call the server as a butler server based on what service it is providing. How it is become that butler server? How a server become that butler server? It is by installing the built-in roles, features, or maybe some application, maybe some kind of package. I have a server, either it is Windows server, Linux server, or maybe it is like a hardware related. So whatsoever it is, you have a Wi-Fi router. Your Wi-Fi router in your home is act like a DHCP server. So no operating system, but there is some operating system is there, not general operating system, but there is some operating system. You are configuring as a DHCP server, so it is act like a DHCP server. Okay. So by configuring, installing or configuring the built-in features or roles or by installing some applications or by packages, the server become a butler server. So it we can able to provide a butler type of service or a services. Butler service or services. ಅಂದ್ರೆ people don't listen, they will do all the things. Yesterday only I told to afternoon batch class is at afternoon. They are telling they keep sending messages about a class. When is the class? People inform us. So yeah, sorry guys. Somewhere you are not talking, they are sending messages. So many messages. Okay. Guys, understand this point or not? This particular points.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Now you can see there is a server. It is providing a certain service. So server understand the client and server will understand the protocol and how it is become a server also few things are built. Okay, at least for getting some idea. Web server. There is a web server. To communicate with the web server, we use HTTP or a HTTPS protocol, port number 80 or a 443. The server is a web server means if it is a Microsoft server, so there is a Internet Information Service. If we install this feature or a role, it is become web server. Or install a package called HTTPD. Apache HTTPD package you install, it become web server. Or you install a Tomcat application, then it is become web server. Glassfish. Tomcat and Glassfish generally web server come application server. Okay. NGINX. You install NGINX. Recently people are using NGINX. So that is also a machine become web server. We install a protocols called like a FTP packages, VSFTP, SCP packages you install, it is become a file server. Or you configure in a as a file server, FTP configuration you're done, the server become file server. You install a package or a built-in role or a feature of a server, a DHCP, then it will become DHCP server. Okay, DHCP protocol access. Same thing, DNS. If you install a named application or maybe in Windows Server, it is you configured it as a DNS server. So then it become DNS. You install a Active Directory domain services. Okay, in the Windows server. So it is become a domain controller, means it is a authentication server. It uses protocol Kerberos, port number is 88. In Windows servers, there is a role called a WDS role, Windows Deployment Server role. If you install that and configure it, so the server can able to install operating system in the multiple devices. What is a WDS server? If you want to install an operating system in 10 computers, you have to go to 10 computers, insert a pen drive or a CD-ROM and install operating system. But the WDS servers, use of WDS server through network, you can install operating system through 10 computer, 20 computer, 30 computers at a time without using any external media. You can install operating system. Okay, so that is a deployment servers. So WDS is for Windows purpose. Mail servers. Mail servers, they understand client request by, they will communicate with the clients and understand client request with the protocols like SMTP, POP3, IMAP for a mail communication. How a server become a machine become a server, mail server, by installing an applications like a Microsoft Exchange application, Zimbra applications, Squirrel Mail applications. Okay, like that. There are so many mail applications. So it become mail server. VPN server, you take a firewall and configure as a VPN server. You take a Windows server and install a remote access role, then it is become VPN server. Or maybe you can install a VPN server applications in a machine and you configure it to become a VPN server. Okay. Storage server, you configure, you have a disk and you connected a disk and you configure,
Sir,
yeah, tell me.
sir, actually, what is the use of VPN servers? Please explain it.
VPN server. Okay. Just one or 2 points I will tell guys. Okay. This is your remote infrastructure. Means your organization is located somewhere in the remote location. They have their own infrastructure, right? Servers are there, mail servers, database servers, web servers, okay? Some storage servers. They have their infrastructure in their office organization. If you are in the same physical location, both servers, your infrastructure things, your router switches, everything is located in the same location, you can access directly through your own LAN network. Okay. If you are remotely, means outside of not that much distance. If you are in a outside of your organization, you want to access, you have to access through internet. That is very dangerous. Okay, that is very dangerous, right? I cannot put all my infrastructure on the internet, right? So I cannot give direct public access. Direct public access is very dangerous. For example, you have a branch office. For example, this is your London office. This is a Hyderabad office. In Hyderabad office also you have some secondary servers are there. And of course, people are also want to access the infrastructure from here. Both are remotely. Still, internet is not a good idea. What they do, usually for main office, branch offices, corporate offices, they are directly connected with a dedicated WAN connectivity. But people are in a small branch offices. People work from the small branch offices or home offices, means people who are working only they can able to connect regular internet. For their purpose, there is a VPN server. This VPN server is able to make you to connect through internet. You can connect to your infrastructure through VPN server. So this is your complete private network and you are in the internet. So you can access your private infrastructure through internet using this VPN server. This VPN server encrypts your data transmission from you to your private network. It means how you are connecting through LAN. So same way you are connecting. So you feel you are connecting through, you don't feel you are connecting to internet, some other IP address, some other IP addresses. It is like you are connecting in the local IP address. Okay. So whenever we cannot able to provide these dedicated lines, so we can easily go with the VPN servers. Okay. So what is a VPN? Virtual Private Network. So you can connect your remote infrastructures through VPN server using via internet only. Okay. And what are the communication from you to your VPN, from you to your infrastructure? The data is going through internet, but it is encrypted. So it's going through a private channel itself, a virtual private channel. It will go. So data cannot be tampered, data cannot be extracted by some other users. So that is a VPN. What is VPN? Virtual private network. In short form, accessing your own private network, your organization private network through internet. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So because this separate explanation is there. Storage servers, guys. Yeah, tell me.
So what is firewall?
Firewall.
Yeah.
Firewall is we can say one device or a server. Firewall. So when you are want to access anything outside of your network, so you are passing through this firewall. So then it's a firewall having different conditions, guys. This one is simple firewall, I'm telling. Your firewall, when you want to access google.com, facebook.com, you send a request to remotely. Okay, so you send a request, so you will get a reply response. So the firewall will make you pass through it. Okay, in general, it is through network part. But someone is trying to enter into your network. Someone is trying to enter into the network. So you are not authorized to enter into the network, so it will drop the packet. If you send a request, you will get a response. Someone want to send something to you, so firewall will not allow that one. Not only through network communication, also it is about your application wise, port wise, protocol wise also the firewall will allow or deny the incoming and outgoing traffics. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So for firewall and VPN, I will try to send two videos. Simple videos are there. So we can better go through once all people got. But it's because common words today's firewall. What is firewall? What is VPN? That's good to you're asking question. That is good. Okay, guys. Storage servers. Storage. Different storage servers are there. NAS SAN type of storage servers are there. Okay, and iSCSI storage servers are there. Depends upon how you install that protocols or the related packages or maybe how you configure. So it becomes storage server. Database servers. I have a machine. I install a Oracle database application. It is become database server. Or I install a Microsoft SQL Server application. It is become database server. Or maybe I will install MySQL server application. It is become database server. Okay. So how a machine become a server, guys? By configuring, installing, or configuring the built-in features or roles, or by installing some applications, or by installing some packages. Of course, installation and configuration of packages, applications, built-in roles or features is a device or a machine become a server. So each server means it provides a service. It understands services with the protocols. Okay, different type of servers we discussed. It is web servers, database servers, mail servers. Okay, DHCP server, DNS servers. These are all different VPN servers. I added this point. This point we can add anywhere. So, but I keep it like this. We can remove it or you can keep it, guys. Virtualization server. Virtualization servers generally by installing direct hypervisor on the hardware. Directly, we install a hypervisors on the machine. So then it become a virtualization server. So for example, you install a Microsoft Hyper-V server, you install on a machine, it become Hyper-V virtualization server. Or if you install a VMware organizations, vSphere or ESXi, you install on a machine, then it is become virtualization server. Citrix Zen server application is there. You install this Zen server hypervisor. You should call hypervisor, guys. It's not an application, not a complete operating system. It is a hypervisor only. It's a virtualization platform. Use it to create virtual machines in it. What is the user virtualization server? We can create a virtual machines in it. Centralized virtual machines. I can create a virtual machines in my laptop, but the machines are running in my laptop. I'm accessing from my laptop only. It's not centralized one. Okay, we want to make a server means it's a centralized concept, right? So virtualization server means it's a central server. It is installed with hypervisors like a Microsoft Hyper-V or vSphere, Zen server, Proximox, and Red Hat Enterprise virtualization kind of stuff installed into that machine. So it become virtualization server. Okay. So both two times I've written that one. So might is that. Okay, so next one is we call something as a server by installing an operating system. Right? Server operating system you install. For example, I take a machine, I install a Windows Server NT, Windows NT Server operating system I install. It is become Windows NT Server. That's it. What are the services it is providing or no services it is providing, it is still we call it as a Windows server. Windows 2000 server, 2003, 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, 12 R2, 16, 19, 22, all these servers we have. Linux. Linux based servers also there, guys. Linux having different distributions. In those distributions, some are written here. Red Hat Enterprise Linux servers are there. CentOS servers also there. Fedora servers also there. Usually I use this CentOS as for a Linux server purpose. Unix based operating system servers, HP UX, Solaris, and other variants also there. Even IBM has its own IBM operating system, IBM servers also there. Okay, mainframe servers also. Okay, by why we call something as a server? Remember what the service is providing, or maybe by installing. In what happened? Okay, guys, I have a laptop. I can install a Windows Server operating system, or I have some desktop is there. I can install a Linux operating system or Windows operating system. Then it is become a server. For example, I take a machine. Okay, some i3 processor, 8 GB RAM, and 500 GB hard disk. I install some Windows Server 2019 I installed. Then it is become a server, and I configured it as a DHCP server or a DNS server and a web server like that. It is a server, but this is not used for a server purpose. This kind of it is server, but this particular hardware, what are the hardware we are using for a desktop purpose or laptop purpose, not suitable for a servers. Whatever the server operating system or whatever the services we are providing. Because guys, desktop purpose is to access something, to do certain tasks, and we use it for a certain period of time only. Like morning I open, evening I close, that's it. Right? That is a desktop or laptop purpose. But server purpose is to provide a service always 24/7, 365 days. It has to provide a service. Always server has to run. Always the service has to be given. And from clients, number of client increases means more requests on a server. Okay, number of client are there. Based on that, more requests are there. Means a server cannot withstand normal hardware with cannot withstand to process this kind of requests from the clients. Network, storage, processor, the RAM capacities are not enough for our desktop or a laptop systems in the server model. Understand point, guys? In server,
Yes, sir.
from Intel, they use a processor called the Xenon. In a Xenon also different variations, like 4 core, 8 core, 16 core, 20 core, okay, 16 MB cache memory, 24 MB cache memory, 32 MB cache memory. Different Xenon processors are available in market. In a server, motherboards are usually multi-processor support. In our motherboard, single processor is there, but in a server motherboards, they support multiple processors. Okay, multiple processor support is also there. Okay, and lot of RAM slots in our laptops and desktop. Nowadays, we are getting 2 RAM slots, but in a servers, they need a multiple RAM slots. Built-in SCSIs we are getting. Means we can insert multiple disks. Normal desktops we can put only 2 to 4 hard disks maximum. We can put it in a normal desktop. Laptop even less than that one. But for storage configuration, we can put in a SCSI. Depends upon our server. Multiple disk drives we can able to connect it. Okay. So RAID onboard RAID controllers for redundancy purpose means one disk is failure, other disk is it will give you a data. Okay. So on this hard disk we can configure RAID configuration. SCSI disk we can able to insert like a SJS type of disk, SCSI disk or a serial attached SCSI disk. We can connect it. Okay. Network connections, not only one network connection, so multiple 10 Gbps connections, 1 Gbps connections to 10 Gbps, multiple NICs we are getting on board and PCI slots. Through PCI slots also we can insert multiple NIC cards. recent servers also having a built-in fiber optical connectivity. Built-in fiber optical connectivity. So that is what server hardware means for server purpose. Okay. In that one, guys, we have a tower servers. So depends upon your purpose. You can use what kind of server you want. Tower server, it is look like your desktop only, but it is high towers. Size is bigger as compared to the others. It is high towers. Normally, it's look like a desktop model. So see it is. These are a storage points. So when we open this eagle dot in kind of stuff, so I will keep getting messages to my Facebook and Instagram about this one only. That's why I have a little fear to open anything. So Lenovo Tower Server, Dell PowerEdge. This is HP. Okay. So this is Tower Server. For example, your organization is a middle scale organization. Only you need 2 or 3 servers or 4 servers max. So you have some space, one small room is there, and you want to connect these servers. Okay, so then we can go and buy this kind. Like I need 2 servers, 4 servers. So I can go for a tower servers. Individual servers I am purchasing. So simply separate power connectivities, separate network connectivities. Okay, separate monitor, keyboard, like that I will maintain. Okay, so that is our tasks. For example, my servers, number of servers are increases and need all the facilities of a server. Means SCSI storages, network connectivities, multiple NICs, multiple RAM connectivities, storage connectivities are required. Then, but multiple servers also I want to connect it because my requirement is higher. So then I will go for a rack mount servers, rack mount servers. So you can see this is a single rack. This rack contains, okay, see multiple NICs. You can see multiple NICs, SMPS power connections. Okay, this is a storage connectivities. It is a very small. Okay, can you see these are the storage directly? You can open it and insert a disk directly. Okay, this is outer layers only, but internal parts there are not shown. It is a rack servers. So this is how the rack server is look like inside. So multiple storage connectivities, SSDs and everything. So this is a single rack, guys. It's a small rack, okay? But tiny rack it is. It's a single rack. One rack means one server. One rack, one server. One blade, one server. So he's inserting a blade. So this is the blade server. So you want just processing power, multiple processing power is required. That's you need to run a process with a multiple servers. More number of servers, you maintain storage separately and less power connections, less maintenance you want it. So then you will go for a blade servers. Okay. One blade, one server means it contains a processor, RAM and SSDs and some sort of storage and network connectivity. In this data center is inserting a blade. I'm trying to go, so one rack is removing rack. You can see this is a data center. So you can see there are so many servers inside. Storage, network connectivities. Okay. So you can try Google data centers kind of stuff. There's a different things also. The 2-tier data center, 3-tier data centers also there. So tower, rack, blade server. Okay, so these are the basic server kind of stuff. So why 1.1 thing we have to keep it up? One line. Maybe this line. Okay. So here I kept differences between use of blade server, rack server, and tower servers. Okay, so there has their own means uses, guys. No, there is no advantage, disadvantage kind of stuff. This is which purpose, what kind of server you require. What is the purpose of your server requirement? So then based on that, which server you choose it. Okay, so that is the thing. For example, you have need a separate server, 4-5 servers are required, tower servers for your organization. You need a storage, you have need a more multiple servers, and you don't want to go with the complex wiring, power connectivities and all. So simply will insert and you connect it, use it type, then you go for rack servers and blade servers. In rack and blade servers on blade storage is very less. So you have to maintain the storage separately. Rack servers on the rack, the storage is also there. Okay, that's the point in the these servers. Okay, the last point, and then we'll take small break when we'll go for this work group and domain active directory points. Okay, guys, what is this data center? Even I try to show this is a data center, this is a data center kind of stuff. Okay, so what is this data center? What is this data center contains? You're running an application. So maybe it's a web application, or else now everything is website, web related. So you're running an application or a server or a service. So then we need a lot of things. Okay. So you're running a different softwares, application or operating systems on the servers. So in data center, there is applications or a softwares are there. And where it is located in the servers are blade or a rack or a tower type of servers. We store data in the storage devices like a SCSI storage, SAS type of storages, different type of storage access like SAN type of storage, NAS type of storages, LVM configurations, RAID controllers. Okay, so this is a storage related config. Network concept is there now. So server has to connect to the storage and as well as to another servers and other people who are accessing for them also it has to be get connected. So we need a networking components, routers, switches, fiber optic cables, UTP and FTP cables, patch cables, whatever, HBA for fiber optical connectivities, NICs, firewalls. Okay, so this is here network related components required, server related servers required, storage devices, storage access, and storage redundancy also implement. Application.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Tell me.
What is the FC in the network?
What is
FC after the switches.
fiber optical cables? Fiber optic.
Okay, sir.
Fiber cables we use in a storage purpose and in a communication. The server side, we need a high-speed data transmissions in servers, storages. These are all connected with the fiber optical cables only. LAN cables for outgoing configuration means for a LAN communication purpose or a LAN wise means the low speed data transmission. But main server to server and all in mainly nowadays we are using fiber optic cables. Of course, we have a data center running with the software or an application, and we have to maintain temperatures, cooling system, power supplies, backup power supplies, power cabling connections, environmental maintenance. Guys, server room is means the data center is completely closed. Okay, no ventilation kind of stuff. So compulsory have to use certain specific vents to go air inside and outside, maintain ACs specifically, thermal radiations and other electronic related radiations you have to get protected. Okay, and oxygen levels you have to maintain. People are working there means they should not die now. So oxygen level we have to maintain properly. Not too much oxygen, not very less oxygen. Proper oxygen mixers we have to maintain. Power supply is compulsory. Main power supply, backup power supply, generators, everything you have to maintain. Okay, so it should not be any humidity. Humidity will causes damages. So internally, right? So don't maintain humidity part, but we should maintain cooling part. So like that. So we have to maintain the environment. Power supply also maintain. But everything we should do monitor the data center. Monitoring data center means monitor the servers, what they are running, what are the servers are running. You have to monitor those servers, their status, their utilization. You have to monitor networking devices, networking connections. You have to monitor the storage devices. You have to monitor storage performance. You have to monitor the things running means the services, applications running in the servers. You have to monitor application performance monitoring. You have to do it. And also monitor the environment. Monitor the environment. Okay. So how the cooling system is going on, how the power supply is there. Okay. That is also you have to monitor. And we can see what is going on with our data center in our dashboard. So these are some of the monitoring tools like Nagios, Zabbix, WhatsApp Gold, SolarWinds, PRTG, Op Manager kind of stuff. Op Manager, I showed already demo.opmanager.com. I showed a demo, so you can understand. In last class we seen Op Manager. What is my infrastructure? How many servers are there? How many routers are there? How many switches are there? How many firewalls are there? How many printers are there? How many desktops are there? How many are running good? How many are in a problematic? How many alarms are received? What servers are having more than 70% of CPU utilization, memory utilization, storage utilization. So those things we can able to look at. Okay, so that is the purpose of monitoring. Data center monitoring. Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Take a break. Come back in a follow class.
Hello, sir.
Tell me,
Sir, mark me as present, sir. I am late today.
Raman.
Yes, sir.
Manish
Thank you.
Kumar, Navneet Pandey. Seema Sharma. Okay. Oh, someone is present. Okay, so guys, take a break, come back.